Welcome to Leading in Luxury, the podcast where we dive deep into strategies and stories shaping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry. I'm your host, Daniel Renna. For those of you just joining us, we are DMR AI Hospitality Solutions, and we specialize in helping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry scale their revenue and profitability by acquiring new clients. We believe in leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance, not replace, the human element in hospitality. Today we have a truly distinguished guest, Aurelio Da Mota. Aurelio is a seasoned hotelier with over 35 years of experience, having worked with major brands like Hilton and Starwood, and now leading guest engagement solutions for the Hotel Communication Network. He's an old school professional who has witnessed the dramatic evolution of hospitality from the days of the Innkeepers Act to the digital age, always with a keen eye to the guest experience and profitability. Aurelio, it's a pleasure to have you on Leading in Luxury.
Thank you, Daniel. It's a pleasure of mine to be here. I appreciate you inviting me on your show. Thank you.
Absolutely. With such a long and rich career in hospitality, from your early days to pioneering automation and now focusing on guest engagement solutions, can you share with us what initially drew you to this industry and how you've seen the fundamental principles of hospitality endure or change over the decades?
Great question. Yeah, I'd love to answer that. I was in college for the hospitality management program back before there were any kind of degrees or anything else along those lines. And I found it very, very entertaining and very enjoyable. And so I actually started a bit earlier than I was supposed to when I got a placement position with Hilton International. This was before the days of Hilton Corporate. We were a session or sort of a segment of Conrad Hilton, which was in the United States at the time, but Hilton International was more of an international organization with about 98 properties around the world. And when I got started with them, I immediately fell in love with the industry. Immediately fell in love with the romance in a hotel. You know, the people were coming in, the activities were going on, the late nights, beautiful lobbies in the various hotels, and the type of people that we were meeting on a daily basis, whether it was your regular guest who was coming in, or in many cases, celebrities that were coming in and just enjoying the atmosphere that we had in those hotels at the time. So I fell in love with that. And I learned all the fundamentals of what hospitality was all about. And I think that if anyone has an opportunity as a young person to work in a hospitality environment, I think it sets the precedence for great customer service and a completely different outlook on how you're going to work in your chosen industry later on in life.
Well, thank you for that fascinating perspective. I mean, the core principles haven't really changed even as the industry has evolved. So your work now with the Hotel Communication Network, providing in-room tablets for guest engagement and monetization, is a great example of adapting to modern needs. You've observed a trend where hotels become bedroom factories, prioritizing quick turnover over the 24-hour stay. How do solutions like your guest engagement tablets help hotels, especially luxury and independent properties, counteract this trend by bringing back a sense of personalization and an elevated experience, even in an era of mobile check-ins and reduced front desk interaction?
Thank you. Great question. Actually, the Hotel Communication Network, the company that I work for, has been in operation for almost 17 years. Back in 2009, it was founded and established our first regular real account with Hilton Corporate. And the solution that we had was a far cry from what we currently have today. But what the guest engagement solution does is encompass everything that the guest would like to experience within a hotel in one beautiful, exquisite billboard in the hotel guest room. Many guests today know that there's applications for every single chain. There's loyalty programs. There are things that they can log on to. There are QR codes that they can scan in a hotel guest room. There are TVs that you welcome them by name. There are TVs with various channels in there that actually advertise and promote the various offerings that a hotel has. But the tablet is a nice, intimate amenity in the hotel guest room that the guests can look at it on their own time, at their own speed. They can browse the various bits of information that are on there. The information that's on those tablets is specifically aligned with every single brand so that the hotel and the hotel management and the company that runs the hotel can actually produce the content that the guest wants to see or that they want the guest to see and help them to promote their operation, promote their brand, promote their outlets, and monetize it in such a way that the guest will feel more comfortable in their own space to be able to either purchase things through the tablet, communicate with management through the tablet, And at the same time, in the world where we have so much turnover and the receptionists at the front desk are taking so many more responsibilities or taking on so many more responsibilities, whether it's answer the phone for guests calling downstairs or to describe to the guests that they're checking in about all of the amenities that they have in the hotel, telling them about when breakfast is available, what time the pool is open, when the fitness facility is open, when the spa is, prices along those things. We really are eliminating a lot of those responsibilities and giving the guests the autonomy in their own room to look this information up in their own time. And let's face it, a 10-inch tablet is a beautiful screen to have in your hotel guest room that people from all ages are comfortable working with. Whether you're
Right.
a young person coming into a hotel or whether you're more of a senior, anything along those lines, they can actually pick up that tablet and feel more comfortable with it from the minute that they look at it. And that kind of technology is very impressive to me because it really encompasses all the things that we did fundamentally when we learned the business of hospitality that's now available digitally for the guest in the hotel guest room at their own comfort level. And that to me is a huge leap in terms of technology for the guest because it really makes them feel like they're part of that environment in that hotel.
No, and that's a powerful point. I think I really like the idea that using technology to inform, communicate, entertain, monetize, pretty much what we use our phones for, but you're also enabling a more personalized experience in the hotel room. You've also touched on the challenge of staffing with high turnover at the front desk and the disappearance of PBX operators, leading to overwhelmed receptionists. Given those staffing challenges, how can technology, specifically AI, be strategically integrated into guest communication and operational workflows to support human staff? And what are the most critical areas where AI can alleviate pressure on hotel teams, allowing them to focus more on those high touch, memorable interactions that truly define luxury hospitality rather than simply replacing them?
Yes, thank you for asking that. I mean, the tablet is evolving rapidly as we grow into the marketplace. Currently we're installed in over 25 countries and we have hundreds of hotels and let me not even, we're talking 30 plus million room nights of utilization for these tablets. The AI factor is moving into the tablets very, very quickly. So much so that we now have, options that are coming up later on this year where the guest can actually pick up the phone, dial a specific number that's advertised on the tablet or at least instructed on the tablet, and they can have an AI person answering their questions. Where's the ice machine? Where is the nearest vending machine, for example? How can I get down to, the third level of parking? And any of those particular questions that come up. Or even for that matter, where can I order breakfast? How can I order breakfast? Can I get this special amenity? Can I get this? Can I get that? All of that is coming up very, very shortly. In the interim, we are providing avatar type AI solutions that welcome the guest, that inform the guest in a verbal method on the tablet that can actually tell them, welcome to, this fine boutique property that we have here. We are glad to have you. Here are some of the things that we would like you to, partake in, or at least like to inform you of, whether it's upcoming special promotions or whether it's specific things that they want to talk about as it relates to the hotel and their offerings. So all of that AI solution is coming in. The tablet is a billboard, as I've mentioned earlier before, with a world of information that's controlled by the hotel or controlled by the hotel management and by the brand itself to ensure that the content is clean, it's new, and it's always up to date. So adding an element of AI into it really kind of relieves the tension downstairs, whether it's through housekeeping, whether it's maintenance, whether you want to pick up the phone and call an AI specified number to ask them to come up and repair a leaky faucet, perhaps to bring up extra towels. And we're tying in with all other types of management, housekeeping management systems that are third party within the hotel to ensure that we're tying in all the information through the tablet. Again, picture it as personal concierge in your hotel room, where you have this wonderful little unit that you can manipulate, you can browse through, you can make requests through, you can use the AI features to communicate to AI servants, if I can call them that, or service providers, and really simplify your overall stay. Now, take into consideration too that you're a foreigner and you're traveling in, and perhaps your language in the country that you're in isn't as strong as the country you just came back from. The tablet and the AI allows you to use your own different language. It automatically translates. It can translate all of the content on the visual part of the tablet into your current language so you can understand what the hotel is trying to promote, and vice versa. When you're speaking to the AI agent, it will also understand your local language. So you feel a lot more comfortable in asking for things as opposed to using a app on your telephone to translate something very, very quickly. So yeah, the AI part is really going to play a major factor in there. Although the hospitality industry has always been worried about giving up that personal touch. But I think that the way we're designing AI today is providing an enhanced level of that personal touch to the guest,
Mhm.
especially when they're comfortable in their own environment, as opposed to having to get up, walk down the hall, go downstairs and speak to someone at a counter or at the front desk, or waiting for them to have the moment to provide you with that much needed bit of time to answer your questions.
That's such a practical approach. I really like that. I like what you said about this. Then basically about using the AI basically empowers the staff rather than replaces them in the end. And you've also highlighted the importance of catering to the independent traveler who pays top dollar and seeks a memorable occasion, contrasting them with corporate or government officials who often receive discounts. For luxury and independent properties, how critical is it to leverage a data and personalized communication, perhaps through tools like your tablets, to identify and cater specifically to these high profit independent travelers? What strategies would those hotels employ to create those memorable occasions and foster loyalty, ensuring that they feel valued and recognized without crossing the line into what might be perceived as creepy over personalization?
Yes, that's a good point that you make there. And absolutely, I mean, data is the key. And the tablets, we collect what we call behavioral analysis, and what like the term behavioral analysis. So we can actually monitor and record every single click in terms of what the guest is looking for, what the guest is browsing through the tablet, what the guest is various interests are, so that every single 30 days or 60 days, the hotel management can actually do an analysis of the data and see what the behavior is. Keep in mind that maintaining the privacy part of it, we never ever maintain information on an individual guest and their name. We just count clicks on our particular tablet. So what management can do is look at it and say, well, last week we had a lot of interest in the boat tours, in the for the resort here, and we have very little interest in outdoor barbecues. Perhaps we can stop promoting those on the tablet, but we can increase promotion on more of the boat tours. So provides them with much needed inside information to be able to cater to the guest on that respect. One other thing that you mentioned was, in terms of providing the autonomy for the guest and taking away some of the liability, if we can call it that, from the employee, whether it's ordering food and beverage through an employee who perhaps has a difficulty in language, or whether it is requesting some other bits of services or some other services from other employees that, again, maybe gets overlooked or whatnot. Deploying the tablet to allow the guest to be autonomous in terms of what they're requesting is one way of ensuring that they're getting that added bit of accurate service. Additionally, what we want to try and do is to make sure that when the guest is there, we want to make them feel special. That targeted communication that you can do to even one individual guest in a hotel guest room. Let's say that they are a VIP, they're there on a special occasion, or they're just passing through, but it just happened to be a dire need, or and very unusual situation. You can actually target that guest with specific greetings, with specific offerings, with a targeted service level for that one individual guest, which in turn will come back tenfold in terms of the guest perception of the type of service that they were having in that hotel. There are many ways that you can actually utilize this type of technology to do what we used to do back then in the old days. So if I can go one
Right.
loop right back again, if there was a need to send a specific greeting or a very special greeting to a 60th anniversary couple that was coming to your hotel, they actually met in your hotel 60 years ago. They dated, they got married, and now they're coming back to celebrate their 60th or 50th wedding anniversary. Back then we were all jazzed about stuff like that. So we would type up something nice and, maybe get a little card, and we'd go up and we'd slide it under the door. We perhaps would, put a fruit basket in there or a bottle of champagne on ice. Or, we do all those things. Not to say the hotels don't do that today, because they do, but that added level of sending a graphic card instantly to them, sending them photos, sending them greetings, getting the whole staff to create something that you can actually put digitally to the guest up there. Those are the things that differentiate us from the non-technology side of hotels and the new digital side of hotels, but never ever losing the fundamentals of what that service level should be. And that's the part that I'm really attracted to, particularly with the product that we're actually promoting to hotels these days.
That's really, really great. Really, your insights into the evolution of hospitality, the balance between efficiency, personalization, and the strategic role of technology are really, really, really valuable. You painted a really clear picture of the challenges and opportunities that bringing back the romance of luxury travel, like you're saying with the anniversaries. Now, looking at everything we've discussed, from adapting to changing guest expectations and addressing staffing challenges to leveraging technology for personalized engagement and profitability, if you had a magic wand and could fix just one thing in the luxury hospitality industry that would most significantly ensure its ability to deliver truly memorable, personalized, and profitable guest experiences in the modern age, what would that one thing be?
Wow, that's a tough question. Let me think. I believe that if we took a couple of steps back and just tried to maybe um, you know, forego the technology for just a few minutes and go back to that original welcoming part of the hospitality, like I was taught from my professors when I was in college, and then provide the technology afterwards. That's the part that I think I miss. Every time I come to a front desk to check in as a traveler, and I travel 2-3 times a month. Um, I find that the welcoming part is wonderful, particularly if they're taught properly to say, hey, welcome here, and can I help you? You're checking in. Yes, I am. And as soon as you present their identification, the well-trained hotels is, the luxury, they'll immediately say, oh, I see you were here once with us before. Welcome back. Thank you for, being loyal to XYZ hotel and so on. That part I really, really enjoy. The lack of that personalization, that human contact, that's the part that I would really like to change, because I think we've lost it because of so much in the technology world. And not to say that technology is bad, because without it we would be lost, but I think that if we can marry that personalization with technology, that's the part that I like. And I'm just speaking from a personal viewpoint, although I'm sure that a lot of people that have been traveling around as many years as I have would probably agree to some of that to a certain extent. So it's a tough
Exactly.
question. It's really difficult to pinpoint what we want to say is the one magic bullet, so to speak. But from my standpoint, that's the thing that I would look at.
This has been a really captivating conversation. I want to thank you for your deep experience and passion in bringing back the romance of hospitality combined with your insights into modern guest engagement, which are truly inspiring. Thank you so much for joining us on Leading in Luxury.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate the time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak up a little bit. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And to our listeners, if you found Aurelio's insights as compelling as I did, be sure to subscribe to our channel and drop us a like. You can find more about Aurelio's work with the Hotel Communication Network and his guest engagement solutions in the description below. For Leading in Luxury, I'm Daniel Renna, and I'll see you next time.